old city of Sana'a. Situated in a mountain valley at altitude of 2,200 meters, Sana'a has been inhabited for more than 2,500 years. In the 7th and 8th centuries the city became a major center for the propagation of Islam. This religious and political heritage can be seen in the 103 mosques, 14 hammams and over 6,000 houses, all built before the 11th century. Sana'a's many-storied tower houses built of rammed earth add to the beauty of this site. Situated in a mountain valley at an altitude of 2,200 meters, the old city of Sana'a is defined by an extraordinary density of rammed earth and burnt brick towers rising several stories above stone-built ground floors, strikingly decorated with geometric patterns of fired bricks and white gypsum. The ochre of the buildings blends into the bistre-colored earth of the nearby mountains. Within the city, minarets pierce the skyline and spacious green bustans are scattered between the densely packed houses, mosques, bath buildings and caravanserais. Inhabited for more than 2,500 years, the city was given official status in the 2nd century BC when it was an outpost of the Yemenite kingdoms. By the 1st century it emerged as a center of the inland trade route. The site of the cathedral and the martyrium constructed during the period of Abyssinian domination, 525–75, bear witness to Christian influence whose apogee coincided with the reign of Justinian. The remains of the pre-Islamic period were largely destroyed as a result of profound changes in the city from the 7th century onwards when Sana'a became a major center for the spread of the Islamic faith as demonstrated by the archaeological remains within the Great Mosque, said to have been constructed while the Prophet was still living. Successive reconstructions of Sana'a under Ottoman domination beginning in the 16th century respected the organization of space characteristic of the early centuries of Islam while changing the appearance of the city and expanding it with the second city to the west. The houses in the old city are of relatively recent construction and have a traditional structure. As an outstanding example of a homogeneous architectural ensemble reflecting the spatial characteristics of the early years of Islam, the city and its landscape has an extraordinary artistic and pictorial quality. Its many-storied buildings represent an outstanding response to defensive needs in providing spacious living quarters for the maximum number of residents within defensible city walls. The buildings demonstrate exceptional craftsmanship in the use of local materials and techniques. The houses and public buildings of Sana'a, which have become vulnerable as a result of contemporary social changes, are an outstanding example of a traditional, Islamic human settlement. Described by historians, geographers and scholars of the early Islamic and medieval eras, Sana'a is associated with the civilizations of the Bible and the Quran. The protection of the old city of Sana'a is ensured by the Antiquities Law of 1997 as well as the Building Law of 2002. Protection will be improved when the Historical Cities Preservation Law comes into force. The preparation of a conservation plan, and of an exhaustive inventory of buildings of the city and its surroundings have been completed. The General Organization for the Preservation of the Historic Cities of Yemen aims to develop the conservation plan in the next few years. It is also proposed to establish a conservation unit to involve all stakeholders, who will be encouraged to participate in the preparation of the city management plan process. The General Organization for the Preservation of the Historic Cities of Yemen, established in 1990, is an independent body set up to create an appropriate strategy for sustainable development. After the new law enters into force, it will become the overall authority for management of the World Heritage property. In its decision concerning inscription, the World Heritage Committee recommended that an adequate buffer zone should be established around the old city. This recommendation should be implemented in order to improve the protection of the property, which also needs clearly defined boundaries. In the long term, it is intended to adopt a clear strategy for sustainable preservation and development of the old city and to reach a better control of the setting as well as ensuring the balance between commercial and residential activities.